Now race 1 in the final round of the Toyo Tyres Mirage Cup.
Welcome folks to the picturesque Phillip Island Raceway in Victoria to the Toyo Tyres Mitsubishi Mirage Cup. It is the final round of the championship, and today some points battles are going to be absolutely intense. You can bet on that. So Sandown was a real Sandowner for Martin Bailey, who tipped it on its lid and rubbed the paint off the roof. We caught up with him prior to the first race at Phillip Island and asked him how he was doing. Welcome back, Martin Bailey.
How are you, Wade?
Not bad. How are you feeling?
A little bit sore, but we're all back together again.
What happened?
Sandown, second lap, turn 1, rolled it over, basically, or got pushed over with a bit of help from someone. So
Sore neck?
Yeah, sore neck, sore back, and that was about it, basically.
Sore car?
Very sore car. We the shell was written off, so we've replaced the shell in a week, and just to get down here, just the confidence is a bit lacking.
Gary Young, of course, the championship leader at the moment with 198 points from Peter Lemus on 144, then Francois Jouy 87, Grant Park 80, Taplin on 77.
We're on board with Dean Evans, the supercar experience on board. Here we're going to take a couple of different looks at the action. Keen Booker, that's a man who's keen by name, keen by nature. The North Shore Mitsubishi entry, and Peter Lemus, the Flying Dutchman in the Stuart Barlin hire machine. So we're covering the action. Troy Hunt on pole. This young man out of karts. Gary Young, Grant Park, Lemus, Dutton, Doyle, Jouy, I should say, and Derhams. The big interest here is can Grant Park pinch third place in the championship off Francois? The man to the left of your screen is young Troy Hunt, a superstar in karting, Craig Denyer.
Yeah, Wade, extremely tight in qualifying. 6/100ths of a second between the top two, and they're away.
A sensational debut for Hunt. You see him on the outside there. Young didn't get the best of the starts. Lemus, meanwhile, not scared to rub the panels. Here comes the Flying Dutchman as this big pack of Toyo Tyres Mitsubishi Mirage Cup fields head into turn 1.
First time of 10 laps, and of course Gary Young, the championship leader, 198 points. Lemus, the one to watch though, on 144, the first of 2 races at Phillip Island today.
Oh, look at Hunt carry that left rear wheel high in the air. He's gone a little bit wide, and they've all driven underneath him. As they say in NASCAR, hung out to dry. He's looking at the edge of the circuit. Look at them all go by, Craig.
Yeah, first time they've been at Phillip Island too, Wayne. They absolutely love this place. Very, very fast. 141 kilometres per hour average lap speed around here, to give you an idea of how fast these little Mirages are.
3 wide then, and it was Park who did it. Here comes Doyle up the inside. The Rosemount Wines Victoria Coffee entry, and you can see back in the field the Playboy James Dutton. Oh,
yes. I think, was that Dutton squeezed to the dirt?
Yes, using up all the circuit. There's Grant Park off to the right. Look at the way they carry the left rears.
Yeah, Park did well. In fact, qualified third fastest, just ahead of Peter Lemus. But Troy Hunt, sensational in qualifying the young Carter.
Yes, Park only a small-time operation, just him and his dad on the team. And look at this, Lemus having a big go at the growler, Gary Young. So championship points-wise, really decided for Young, but Lemus is going to give him everything to think about. Young back up the inside, momentarily on the brakes over the top of Lukey Heights.
Yeah, very floaty over here now, hard on the brakes, and you can see, oh, Young, the rear end of the little Mirage stepped out. He caught it well low, and will lead them through for the first of 10 laps.
Keen Booker, the North Shore Mitsubishi DP. Wow, they're off the circuit and all over the shop just then. Here comes Hunt now, hunting for a passing manoeuvre on Park. This young man has got a celebrated international karting history, and he's now coming in. Gary Holt from Eastern Creek Karting Raceway has purchased this car. I believe he bought it for a song. You talk about affordable motorsport, well and truly under 20 grand, and that's the way to go fast, go cheap.
Yeah, great package. I mean, it's really a feeder series for an enormous number of Australian motorsport categories. Riding with Dean Evans at the moment, but get in the right end of town, doesn't cost you a lot of money, good competitive series, good television, easy to run, and of course you get to race at the best racetracks in Australia like Phillip Island.
That was very close stuff just then. They're closing in. They're once again hard on the brakes here on the left hand and run it wide out of this turn. You see then Greg Doyle, the restaurateur from Sydney, in the Victoria Coffee machine, also backed by Rosemount Estate. Evans a little bit further back in that black car, just going by the Maxi Steel man, Giannis Derhams. Beautiful conditions for racing as they come hard on the brakes into Honda corner here, and Young getting away. He's a bit of a character, the growler.
Yeah, and doing plenty of laps this weekend at Phillip Island. He's racing in the V8 Brute Series as well in the Cooper's Pale Ale Ute, so he's probably doing more laps around Phillip Island than anybody.
I believe he's got a Vespa scooter that he rides around in Victoria on Sunday mornings, drinking cups of coffee. Not exactly the man you'd expect. He's sponsored by Cooper's Pale Ale. Probably getting over a big night on the Coopers the night before.
Yeah, works for Multiplex, one of the big building construction firms in Australia. and travels around a lot with the business, of course, and really, though, is committed this year to doing very well in Australian motorsport with 2 categories.
Hard to believe he's got a responsible job. They come out of the turn, just then you see that the playboy, James Dutton, starting to come on. Keen Booker, here's a bloke who loves his racing. The dealer principal, the North Shore Mitsubishi, just loves to get involved. There's Francois up the inside. There's some real characters in this class of racing. Some youngsters starting to come through, and people from every walk of life. There's Poms racing, there's Dutchmen, there's French, there's even Swiss drivers out there.
And Francois has just dipped into the 153s, a 153.61, so he's only 0.3 of a second slower than Young's fastest time so far.
Doing very well. Look at this little cluster of Mitsubishi Mirages here. The Toyos holding up remarkably well on this circuit. Lemus from Doyle and Hunt, who got a great start and then just died a natural death coming out of turn 2. He dropped back several spots, and look at him coming back now.
Gee, that's a brave part of the track too, to be making moves like that, but the man has showed plenty of bravery in his very, very successful karting career, and you can really sense that Troy Hunt in this race is absolutely on a mission.
So it's just cool the way they pick up that inside rear wheel, and the wheel actually stops spinning and come off this turn. All these cars race rally art equipped. They are rocket ships, Craig, make no mistake about it.
In fact, quite surprising how fast they are, Wade. Like 140 kilowatts, they're very light, 5-speed gearbox, front wheel drive, but they're a tremendous little race package.
Hunt having his first look at Mirages, qualifies on pole, and look at him coming through, Craig.
Again, down to turn 1 at Phillip Island, down Wayne Gardner Straight, goes through too, so he's picked up Lemus. So Hunt now moves into second. Gary Young has really run away from the pack so far, but what a great drive from the Eastern Creek karting star.
Aren't young drivers so much faster and lighter without a mortgage?
Yes, they are.
There's no fear, is there?
A lot braver.
Just drive that sucker in and let's see if we come out the other side. Francois Jouy doing a good job there, closing in, a real likeable character. Both he and Richard Gartner, the Minister for Enthusiasm, who's Swiss originally. He just loves these things, and who wouldn't? Look at this for competitive racing, and a lot of guys doing it under 20 grand as Doyle comes up the inside.
Oh, locks up the brakes too, and no, he doesn't quite. Yes, in fact, he is going to make it through on the inside of Lemus. Will he make it stick though?
Here's Doyle, the sun glinting off the windscreens here at Phillip Island Raceway, a beautiful circuit, very nicely maintained. When you're driving the ground, you just say, how pretty is this place?
Oh, he's in trouble.
Served himself up a bit of a problem there, the restaurateur.
He's gathered it all up now, but it's cost him a couple of spots.
Oh, here comes Park. Gee, you got to love his enthusiasm. He's going really hard. There goes Young, our race leader. Big lock-up from Hunt just then in second. Now, up the inside comes Doyle. Geez, enthusiastic, this guy. Yeah,
you talked earlier, Wade, about what a great opportunity for young karters to come through. I mean, we look at Mark Winterbottom, of course, has gone to Formula Ford. We've seen Jamie Whincup go to Formula Ford as well. This is when you look at the chance to learn your racecraft. I mean, this series is far less expensive and a great opportunity. Still good television, which of course Formula Ford doesn't have this year. So it certainly has become a very, very viable option for young karters wanting to learn more, get developed more, sponsors, good television.
And you don't have to ask Mum and Dad to mortgage the house again. Into the right-hander comes Young. Second is Hunt. He's closed in dramatically, this man. Really closing in. The Eastern Creek Karting Raceway machine closing in, but the growler Gary Young looking very strong, Craig.
Yeah, Troy Hunt, of course, the fastest man, the pole man with a 153.96, and in race trim, though Gary Young has done a 153.34, so he's picked up plenty of time in this race and certainly will lead them home onto the Wayne Gardner Straight for the last time.
Very good drive, and the headlights flash. One of the most charismatic guys in the game. The growler Gary Young gets it from Hunt. Good battle here. Excellent drive from Francois. He's going to be happy with that. Well, Lemus and Doyle were right in the thick of things. Here's your final results. Young, Hunt, Jouy, Lemus and Doyle running out the 5.
Then Park, Yanastero's back there in 7th spot, and Richard Gardner running up the top 8 in car number 12.
We'll go to the pits and catch up with our place getters. What a race. Race 1. Well, Troy Hunt, straight out of the karts into the Mitsubishi Mirages. How did you find the changeover?
Yeah, it's good. I think the karting experience has been really good, and it's helped me, you know, like we jumped in and put on pole in the first race, first time at Phillip Island, and you know, we had half an hour before qualifying to get used to the track and set up the car. So no, it's good, and I mean, I find setting up the car a little bit easier than setting up the go-kart. The changes you make are a little bit more responsive than on the go-kart, so it's good, and you take a little bit more experience and hopefully get faster and start to dominate.
Win, lose or draw, James Dutton always spends his time with quality at the racetrack.
We certainly do. We try to every time.
What happened to that race, dude?
Just got round to turn 4 and round at Honda there, and someone came up on the inside a little bit too hot for their liking, and basically pushed the guard against the tyre and pushed me back all the way down the back to the second last spot.
You have some suspicions that maybe it's on Frenchman involved? The longer this season goes on, Francois, the tougher you get.
Yes, I think we had a bit of a chance, I would say, in the last 2 races because the car was misfiring, and we solved the problem. And finish third for me here, it's great because it's a great track, and I think the quick track suits me better than maybe the more technical track. And I'm very happy to finish third today.
James Dutton's a bit cranky. He thinks there might have been contact between you two. What did you see?
I've got a video in my car which will show that James actually went wide and came back and hit me on the front guard, which I really was about to actually abort the race, and because I could see in my mirror the smoke coming out, and I said I'm going to keep going. If I blow a tire, I blow a tire. I'm going for points. You know, I'm third in the championship. I've got to stay in front of young Grant Park, which he drives very, very well, and so far it's good. Reverse grid next race, and I don't know what's going to happen, but
so go hard or go home.
Exactly.
Great stuff as always from the 240 km/h pocket rocket.